The harbor pilot has just left our ship. Good morning from Ponta Delgada, Portugal, the Azores Islands. About a day and a half, as it turns out, from Lisbon. We left Lisbon the night before last and ran into quite a bit of weather. Unfortunately, in Lisbon, we had very little time in port, and on top of which we had some technical issues with the audio. So got maybe a few shorts that had audio, but other than that, did not get one comprehensive video. So unfortunately, that's where we are with that. But we're expecting to have a great day here in Ponta Delgada. As soon as we get off, we're going to grab a rental car and head out and see what we can see. Before I introduce our rental car, I'm going to show you a map of San Miguel Island, where we came in at Ponta Delgada. We drove from Ponta Delgada down this coast road, and then at about Villafranca de Campo, we split off, maybe a little bit farther along, and we've come up to Furnace Lake, or Lagoa das Furnas, and the hot springs at Furnas just above. So that is where we are at the moment. We've got the little Opel Corsa. Great rent-a-car for just 30 euros a day. Makes up for some of the disappointments of the 250 euro quote in Le Havre. So they were very kind to us, and actually having gotten off the ship early enough, if we hadn't gotten off the ship maybe another 5 minutes late, at least we would have had to go to another rental car agency, but we did very well right in the port of Ponta Delgada. So I'm going to walk over by the lake and then to the hot springs. And you can see the steam rising from the hot springs. Beautiful day here, about 20 centigrade, maybe just a little bit cooler. Good morning. A sample of?
Pina colada without alcohol.
Ah, pina colada, a virgin pina colada.
Yes, a natural, and without sugar as well. But if you want, I can make with alcohol.
Maybe later.
Okay.
But thank you.
And I serve inside of the pineapple.
Very tasty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Big crowds also from the cruise ship. We came without the shore excursion. And there's also a large mountain bike race here today. A number of people riding around, just cooling off, cleaning off their bikes. This appears to be their award ceremony. So in addition to the ship tourism, they have the local events as well. Another great shot of the lake. This area roped off for their event. And the smell of sulfur in the air from the thermal springs. A little rough going through here. Very stinky. So what brought us here? Well, we had heard about it. We got in the car, we headed east, and part of adventure is just striking out and seeing what you see without the guidance. Unfortunately, this area is blocked off. and it's almost impossible to breathe. These are the mud baths, evidently, that we heard about. Maybe at other times a year they are accessible. Muito quente, very hot. Another little path, this time on a wooden bridge, and a little bit closer to some of the enclosures of the hot springs. And you can see them, hopefully, as I can, bubbling down in these cauldrons. And evidently those are under development. Maybe you can hear that one bubbling a little bit, I don't know. Oh, we run into another intrepid traveler, Gail.
Hey, it's beautiful here.
What we need to do is get over to that where it's closed off and they've got that. The spring is much more active over there. Those are the mud baths. I was able to get to the mud baths from that walkway, so you might try that. Yes, you can. You can go around that path right over there. Yep. We intrepid travelers without the benefit of the shore excursions have to stick together. Unfortunately, our passage is blocked to the walkway that goes over to the really boiling spring, so we're going to try to go around the outside and have a look at it that way. Traversing the tree roots. And it appears this is as far as we're going to be able to get. But in the distance, there's one that's really active and really bubbling, giving off a lot of steam. And then the pools that come back from this are probably also derived from the same source, certainly in the same area of ground. Not quite sure why they've got them, why the walkway's closed off. But I tell you, when you get right on top of it, the sulfur is almost overpowering. Well, just after we left the springs, it started to pour, and we're back in the car headed for the north coast. I'm not quite sure what towns we're headed for, but we're headed there all the same. So we thought we'd take you with us just a little bit in the little Opal through the windshield with the windshield wipers just flying. Slowed down now just a little bit. These are great roads here on SÄO MIGUEL. So we're now getting on to the east-west highway on the north side of the island. And we were on a road like this earlier, going east out of Ponta Delgada, headed to where we turned off to go to Furnas. Actually, the road ended when we went to Furnas. So we're just going to take this road for a little ways. and see where it takes us. I'm enjoying the little Opel Corsa. Drives really well, and of course I said earlier we got a heck of a deal on it, so very lucky to have a good deal on a rental car. Anywhere in Europe, let alone on one of the islands of the Azores on a Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Well, we're headed down to Puerto Formosa, see if we can't get a little better view of the Atlantic Ocean. Just down below this road here. Shortly we'll be in what looks to be Riviera Grande. I am very unfamiliar with everything on this island, but I'm quickly becoming more familiar with it as we drive around. And that's one of the reasons why I think having a car is really about the best way to first discover in depth one of these islands, and particularly such when you don't have a lot of time, because you can cover a lot of ground, things you can remember, and when you go back to look at them on a map, you use that map and remember the roads, hopefully, that you've driven to remember the things that you've done. And this is not probably more than just a small village down here. These cute recycling bins, trash cans, whatever they are, right on the side of the road from old street signs, directional signs, are at the lay-by here at Puerto Formosa. We went down into Puerto Formosa and almost couldn't get back out. So where I had wanted to stop and take a little video there in that bay really is Formosa. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful port. And it's a cute little farming village, but just not with the greatest road infrastructure. There was quite the traffic jam down there as either church let out or a number of people were coming through at the wrong time. Such is life in the islands. I don't care whether you're in the Turkish islands, the Greek islands, islands off of, heck, out in the Caribbean, and certainly here off of Portugal in the Azores. Rain is coming and going, but our little Opel Corsa is just getting a little dirtier today as we throw it around the curves out here. Well, the weather continues to improve, and so does the quality of the road. This is a beautiful road as we see the mountains in the distance, and we're coming in on Riviera Grande. I hope I'm pronouncing that right because I've said it enough times. This is a lot of fun driving along this northern highway. Little Opel just racks up the kilometers. The Atlantic coast forever to our right and the mountains to our left. Well, we're coming into Riviera Grande. And absolutely beautiful mountainscapes and the sea just below it, the Atlantic Ocean. It's a beautiful day when it hasn't been raining, and when it has, we've just been able to enjoy it in the car. Let's go down into town. The incredible North Atlantic coast here at Riviera Grande. The fog and mist rolling in as the tide comes in. This is more of a surfer's paradise, I think, than anywhere that you'd go swimming, at least at this time of year. But like so many mountainous islands, the mountains in the near distance just behind this town, and the coastline here, and the mountains surrounding us, heading towards the western direction, Absolutely amazing. It's been a great day so far. We're going to see how much more we can find. The sun is coming out and the sky is blue. Oh, we're now just coming out of Santa Barbara, and we're headed to the west, and we're going to try to make the full loop around the western part of this large island before we get back to Ponta Delgada. And it's just been beautiful scenery here, just up above the Atlantic Ocean. A part of the world that I would definitely recommend coming to. I do have a little bit of a handful driving through these curves, but I'm having a lot of fun in the open. Well, we're trying to share the road with the cows. Hi, buddy. Hi, girl. What you say, cows? We are in the northwestern part of the island of SÄO MIGUEL, and there are a lot of cows here. But I don't think I've ever shared the road with quite this many before. And they keep coming. There are the farmers, there are the cows. And they're herding them up the main road that goes around the perimeter of this island. If anybody wants to, for fun, count the cows. The tail just hit the car. I hope my insurance covers cow tails. This guy's real this girl rather is real interested. But we do have some beautiful cows here in Portugal. That one just cleaned the mirror off. And the traffic's held up quite a bit here until the cows get off. Miradoro, Escalvado. We're at the Westernmost Viewpoint, from what best I can tell, along the road. We may have parked in an inconvenient place here, but we parked where another guy had in the turnaround. The wind is blowing as we are, again, as westerly as I think we can probably be on San Miguel Island. Looking down at a little village just below. And west out into the Atlantic. The other islands of the Azores, not visible from this point, a little too far away to be visible. And I'm holding on to my hat. But absolutely beautiful, the water and the mountains in such close proximity. We've been driving through them here for a number of hours, enjoying every moment. The car is returned, the ship dominates the harbor, and we are back in Ponta Delgada. The evening has become beautiful once again. I wonder if it wasn't always beautiful here, but we drove just over 100 miles around about 2/3 of the island, and I'm going to close out with a map of the island, but we're going to do a little walking around here in Ponta Delgada before we go back on to the ship. So we're now in the back streets of Ponta Delgada, and the sun is starting to go down and it's cooling off a little bit. And it's a Sunday, but the streets have rolled up. The ship is not going to leave for another 2 hours or so, and there are tourists in the street, a few. but not as many as you might think. And there's really not a lot going on. And you could look at that a couple of different ways. It's very peaceful, but there's not a lot of activity, not near what I would have expected for the principal city on this island. As we walk through the streets looking for signs of something other than people just going home after a long day, possibly catering to cruise ship customers, we do have some very beautiful shops. But this is one of the central commercial districts of the main city of this rather large island that I found is 216 kilometers as you drive all the way around it. We did about 2/3 of that today.
That's good.
I am very certain that I will be back to SãO Miguel and Ponta Delgada because there's a lot more to see and do. And I hope to be here maybe more in season. I know we're at the end of the tourist season. Maybe people who are here for the summers have gone back to their homes in other places, in Portugal and other places. But it is very empty here at the end of October. Beautiful weather still this evening. It is just after 5:30 and it's just under 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It is 17 degrees centigrade and it feels a little bit warmer than that. But here is one of the main pedestrian thoroughfares back to the harbor. More nice shops and cafes, but the streets have all but rolled up. A lovely hotel, Alcidas, and another one across the way. Thanks for watching Travel with Chip. Please subscribe, share, appreciate all your support. See all of our other videos from prior trips and this one. We're going to do a few special features as we make the crossing back to New York. So look for those. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get all these up. But until then, thanks again.